The struggle to save money each month isn't really about lacking willpower or needing to sacrifice every pleasure in your life. The real challenge lies in recognizing something simpler. When you earn the same amount regularly, your spending falls into patterns that repeat themselves. Month after month, you make tiny financial choices that become invisible routines. The secret to building savings isn't fighting yourself constantly, it's creating straightforward systems that work with your natural rhythm, making consistent progress possible without the exhaustion, shame, or feeling like you're always depriving yourself of what matters. Transform saving from a choice into a system. Most people start every month with genuine intentions to put money aside, but they depend on remembering, on having enough motivation by month's end, or on whatever cash might be left over after everything else is handled. The problem? Life gets busy, bills stack up, and those good intentions evaporate once regular spending kicks in. Here's the issue. When you treat saving as something you'll decide about later, you're leaving it exposed to your mood, your schedule, unexpected purchases, and the temptation to think short-term instead of long-term. Automation fixes this by taking the decision out of your hands entirely. Set up an automatic transfer that moves part of your salary into savings the second your paycheck hits your account. This makes saving happen by default, not by effort. It executes before you can justify spending that money, before impulses arise, before you start bargaining with yourself. What's left in your account after the transfer? That becomes your actual spending limit, not some theoretical number you hope to stick to. As the months pass, automatic transfers create a savings rhythm that doesn't demand constant mental energy or iron discipline. Build your budget around non-negotiables first. Every month, certain costs show up without fail. Your rent or mortgage, utility bills, transportation expenses, insurance premiums, and other essential payments. These fixed expenses are the bedrock of your financial life when you earn a regular salary. If you ignore these costs or convince yourself they're smaller than they really are, you'll create savings targets that look impressive in theory but crumble halfway through the month. When you acknowledge your fixed expenses from the very beginning, managing the flexible parts of your budget becomes manageable instead of overwhelming. This method reduces financial stress because your expectations finally align with what's actually happening. Planning realistically means you stop constantly readjusting or feeling like you're failing. When your plan is stable, you start trusting it. And when you trust the system, saving feels like something you can actually accomplish instead of a punishment you're enduring. Keep savings and spending money apart. When all your money lives in one account, both what you're saving and what you're spending, mental boundaries start to blur. If you can see the money, it feels available to use, even when you've mentally earmarked it for long-term goals. This accessibility breeds small rationalizations. Each one feels innocent enough on its own, but they add up quickly. Moving your savings into a completely separate account builds a psychological barrier. That barrier gives you pause during emotional moments, or when stress hits and spending feels like relief. Suddenly, accessing your savings requires deliberate action instead of just being convenient. That deliberateness? It's what keeps your money protected across the weeks, months, and years ahead. Save based on percentages, not fixed dollar amounts. Setting a specific dollar amount to save each month sounds straightforward, but it often falls apart because life refuses to be perfectly consistent. Some months bring surprise expenses, irregular bills, or changes in your income that make hitting that fixed target feel completely out of reach. Saving a percentage of whatever you earn automatically adapts to your current situation. This built-in flexibility takes the guilt away during tighter months and prevents you from getting discouraged. Percentage-based saving builds a habit instead of creating pressure. And here's the thing about habits. They survive stress far better than strict, inflexible rules. As your income grows over time, your savings scale up naturally, without you having to sit down and recalculate everything. Stop lifestyle inflation before it locks in. When you start earning more money, spending tends to creep upward through small improvements that each feel reasonable and harmless. A nicer coffee here, a subscription upgrade there, slightly better versions of things you already buy. None of these feel significant by themselves, but together they silently consume every dollar of your raise. Without conscious intention, salary increases vanish without actually improving your financial foundation. Deliberately postponing lifestyle upgrades gives your savings the chance to grow alongside your income. This isn't about denying yourself, it's about pacing. Pacing gives you breathing room and future security. Long-term financial stability happens when your income climbs faster than your expenses do. Track your spending to see patterns, not to punish yourself. Many people refuse to track their spending because it feels like setting up a system to criticize themselves. They imagine every purchase being judged, every decision scrutinized. But tracking doesn't change your behavior through force or shame. What it actually does is show you patterns that are already there, hiding beneath the surface of your everyday choices. These patterns reveal where money quietly disappears month after month through habits that seem trivial in the moment, but repeat with remarkable consistency. Those frequent small purchases? They often drain more money than the occasional big expense, even though they're much easier to overlook. Without tracking, these leaks stay invisible, continuing to drain resources unchecked. Tracking brings these habits into the light without judgment or blame. Once you can see the patterns clearly, decisions become easier because you understand exactly what's happening. Often, addressing just one or two recurring leaks saves more money than attempting drastic cuts across everything, cuts that usually backfire by creating stress and resentment. Awareness replaces guesswork and emotional confusion with clarity. When you have clear information, adjustments feel thoughtful and peaceful instead of reactive or harsh. Factor irregular expenses into your monthly plan. Yearly subscriptions, car maintenance, medical bills, holiday gifts, unexpected repairs. These costs often feel like they come out of nowhere, even though they actually show up with reliable regularity over time. When you don't plan for these expenses, they land like financial emergencies that wipe out your savings in one blow. These moments create the illusion that saving doesn't work, when the real problem is simply a lack of preparation. Building irregular expenses into your monthly planning spreads their impact evenly throughout the year. Instead of getting hit with a huge bill all at once, you're setting aside smaller amounts each month. This transforms future stress into present control. This strategy prevents the emotional spike that leads to panic borrowing, reactive overspending, or abandoning your savings plan entirely. When these expenses arrive, you stay calm because the money is already waiting. Instead of scrambling emotionally, you make decisions deliberately and confidently. Over time, this preparedness protects your progress and prevents major setbacks. When money is expected rather than surprising, you maintain control instead of descending into chaos. That's how saving becomes truly sustainable. Reduce emotional spending while keeping joy intact. Emotional spending typically stems from stress, exhaustion, boredom, or seeking comfort, not from genuine desire for the thing itself. But if you try to eliminate all enjoyment from your budget, you create resentment and burnout. And resentment eventually leads straight to overspending as a form of relief. Recognizing what triggers emotional spending allows you to plan for enjoyment intentionally. When enjoyment is planned, it stays within your boundaries instead of breaking through them. Those boundaries protect your savings while keeping your quality of life intact. This balance is what makes the entire system sustainable over the long haul. Review and adjust your system monthly. Monthly salaries create a predictable income rhythm, but life itself never stops changing. Expenses shift around, your priorities evolve, unexpected responsibilities emerge. Without regular review, even good systems quietly break down. Monthly check-ins let you make small corrections before minor issues become major problems. These small adjustments protect your momentum, and momentum is what keeps the saving habit alive during busy or stressful periods. This flexibility actually strengthens consistency over time. Measure success by consistency, not perfection. Many people completely stop saving after they miss a single target because they interpret it as personal failure. But demanding perfection creates pressure that kills motivation. That pressure leads to avoidance, and avoidance ends the habit entirely. Saving something every single month carries far more weight than saving the perfect amount occasionally. Progress builds quietly through repetition. Small victories restore confidence, and confidence is what sustains the habit for years, not months. Scale your savings when income grows. Salary increases don't happen often, which makes them valuable opportunities to boost your financial security without cutting back on comfort. Automatically increasing your savings percentage when your income rises captures that progress immediately. This prevents lifestyle inflation from silently consuming your raise before you realize it's gone. The adjustment doesn't feel painful because your income has already increased. You're simply directing the growth strategically. Your future security improves without requiring daily effort or constant decisions. Systems outperform willpower every time. Quiet, deliberate choices create lasting stability. If you're serious about saving money from your monthly salary, pick one approach from this video and commit to it consistently. Rather than overwhelming yourself by trying to overhaul everything simultaneously, drop a comment telling me which step you're implementing this month. Subscribe for practical, judgment-free money guidance. And thanks for being here.